Well, the wait is on to see when the federal government will make a move to reschedule a drug known as 7-O. It is often associated with kratom. People use it to help with anxiety or for an energy boost, but it's been found to be addictive and is classified as an opioid. In July, the federal government filed its intent to reschedule 7-O into a more restricted category. The first day the drug could be rescheduled was August 5th. The government hasn't made any moves yet, so people are waiting to see when it will happen. Dr. Jeremy Dubin, Chief Medical Education Officer at Porchlight Health, joining us now to talk more about this. So first and foremost, this is very new to me, and I want to be educated here. I mean, I'm a parent. 7-O, what is this, and why is the government showing so much interest in adding in more restrictions to 7-O?
Thanks for having me. 7-O is, or short for 7-hydroxymetragenine, is a normal yet minor product of the kratom leaf. And kratom has been sold in convenience stores and vape shops for years now.
Really?
And it's an old tea that's used in Southeast Asia for depression, anxiety, pain. But what's happened is that this normal part of the kratom leaf has been extracted. And that concentrate is not only creating a problem out there, but it's creating possible addiction.
So it's more so the 7-O, the concentrated. I just want to make sure I get this correct. Not like the kratom leaf if you're making a tea?
That's correct.
Or are you concerned about that as well?
The kratom leaf is actually not what is being restricted. And Colorado's been ahead of the curve. They've already restricted 7-O and the other concentrated synthetic products like MG15 and MG16. But what the DEA and the FDA are doing is they're moving to push this into a Schedule I classification. We're going to see this go off the shelves.
Okay, so you're going to see this go off the shelves. Now, something that's also interesting is the government asked for feedback, right, about the rescheduling of the drug. Some people say that 7-O can actually help when it comes to weaning people off other addictions. So they believe it shouldn't be more restricted. Where do you stand on this?
Ironically, folks were going to 7-O or 7-hydroxymetragenine for things like pain, anxiety, but also for opiate withdrawal. So in other words, to get off fentanyl and morphine. However, what we have found is that these concentrates in low doses are stimulatory. It's a pick-me-up, something to take in a gummy or an extract that makes you feel like a cup of coffee. But at a higher dose, it actually is looking exactly like an opioid, pressing the same buttons that morphine does, as well as fentanyl. This is creating textbook drug dependence. I need the drug to keep going. Drug tolerance, I need more to get the same effect, and drug withdrawal. When I stop taking this drug, I have classic withdrawal symptoms such as GI symptoms, restlessness, anxiety, sleeplessness.
And then where do the treatment centers stand when it comes to rescheduling this with more restrictive options here?
Most treatment centers and most people in medicine are going to be supportive of this move. What we're finding out is that people are, unbeknownst to themselves, are going into shops to get a natural supplement for themselves to help themselves with sleep or pain or anxiety. And they're coming out with an opioid-like molecule. And unfortunately, and the scary part is that some of these folks that are vulnerable to substance use disorders, that have a co-occurring mental health issue, chronic pain, they actually can move on to problem use, even a substance use disorder.
Okay, so that's concerning. So Dr. Dubin, for people that are watching right now, they know someone that's addicted to this drug or they themselves are. What do they do? Where do they go? How do they treat themselves? Or how do you get treatment?
Great question. The first thing I would say is look for the red flags with a friend or a loved one or yourself. Are you showing signs of an opioid dependence or withdrawal? When you stop using this drug, do you have these signs of restlessness, GI distress, anxiety? Are you increasing your doses? Are you using more than you used to get the same effect? Are you craving when you don't have it? Second, don't go cold turkey off this stuff. The vulnerable individual might go to fentanyl or other opioids to fill the gap, and that's much more dangerous. Third, use naloxone. In other words, we have seen overdoses, especially when associated with alcohol, benzodiazepines like Xanax, Valium, and other opioids. So if you have Narcan around and you think there's a kratom-related incident, you should use it. And also, probably the last thing I would say is approach that person with compassion, not judgment.
Amen.
Folks are going into this not knowing what has happened, and this is happening to our teenage folks as well as our seniors. And what we've seen is that this is a public health issue. We've seen a 1,200% increase risk of kratom-related incidents between 2015 and 2025, and about a third of the ones that were related to 7-O have had very serious consequences.
Okay, I'm so glad that we're talking about this, and we appreciate you and weighing in and giving all the resources.